inadequate. A lot of times, you want to work in a place, you can't do basic laboratory investigations, and these are the investigations that will actually help you take care of these patients. You have to send patients miles away just for you to do basic laboratory investigations. We also have the challenges of welfare, which is huge. A couple of them have not been paid, including me. I've not been paid for 4 months now.
They are ever called on the government to ensure the provision of basic welfare needs, health insurance, as well as infrastructure to enable health workers provide good health care.
Somebody in the house having 1.2 million for hardship allowance, and you're paying doctors 5,000 hazard allowance, then it's unfair. Get them paid as a going deal. There shouldn't be issues about paying basic things like salary.
What if you reduce the cost of health insurance for healthcare worker? The particular percentage you are taking from their salary now for their insurance. What if you work on that without doing much about the? We know that the hazard allowance is abysmal, right? But government does not have the way with that to improve that. There are other things you will do as a government, as a responsive and responsible government, that you will do to make the life of healthcare worker better than what they have now. You have to improve their living condition. I used to know at a time that workers get scholarships. So if all these things are taken away from their take-home allowances, I'm very sure life will be better for them, and they may not even have to look in the direction of that hazard.
Ensuring a better health care for the medical practitioners as well as the citizens will no doubt ensure adequate development in the country. Ayodele Fakeye, Impact Business Radio News.
The National Association of Resident Doctors has suspended its ongoing strike for an initial period of 4 weeks. The president of the association, Uyilawa, confirmed the development in a statement. He said the decision to end the strike followed a new agreement reached with the federal government. The strike, which entered the ninth day on Saturday, crippled activities in tertiary hospitals across the country and left many patients and their relatives stranded. Earlier, Nigeria's Minister of Labour, Prince Ngige, threatened the doctors with no work, no payroll, a day after the strike commenced. Unperturbed, the doctors continued with their strike, leaving only few doctors to attend to emergency situations. The doctors are demanding, amongst other things, payment of all salaries arrears, review of the current hazard allowance to 50% of consolidated basic salaries for all health workers, and payment of the outstanding COVID-19 allowance, especially in state and tertiary institutions. Socioeconomic Right and Accountability Project says it is unfair to pay President Muhammadu Buhari, governors, and lawmakers huge salaries than pay judges less. The group also urged the chairman, Revenue Mobilization, Allocation, and Fiscal Commission, Elias Mba, to urgently review upward remuneration allowances and conditions of services of Nigerian judges, and to review downward the remuneration and allowance of high-ranking political office holders in order to address the persistent poor treatment of judges and to improve access of victims of corruption to judges. SRAP also urged him to send the review and recommendations to the National Assembly for appropriate remedial and legislative action as provided for by the Nigerian Constitution 1999. In the letter signed by SRAP Deputy Director Olawale Oluwadare, the organization said judges should get all to which they are reasonably entitled, and it is unfair, illegal, unconstitutional, and discriminatory to treat judges as second-class people while high-ranking political office holders enjoy lavish salaries and allowances. SRAP said the letter followed the national industrial action by the Judiciary Staff Union over Nigeria over financial autonomy for the judicial arm of government. Governors of the Southeast are meeting in Imo State to discuss the security challenges confronting the region. An aide to Governor Hope Uzodimma of Imo State confirmed the meeting. The aide said the meeting is to discuss issues of insecurity and how security can be improved in the region. It recalls that the region has witnessed a spike in attacks on public infrastructure. Different police stations across the southeast have also come under attack by gunmen in recent weeks. At least 4 naval officers were said to have been killed in Anambra State in March. Just last week, Monday, gunmen attacked a correctional center and the police command headquarters in Imo. Senate President Ahmed Lawan says the security challenges plaguing the country cannot make it a failed state. Lawan says this when he launched the 2021 Empowerment 2,000 beneficiaries of Katsina Central Central District in December 2020. Financial Times had said Nigeria was on the brink of becoming a failed state. The international business newspaper cited insecurity, stalled economic growth, and weak institutions as some of the country's biggest challenges. Just on Friday, Nigeria governors elected on a platform of the People's Democratic Party also said the country is gradually moving towards becoming a failed state if the country trend of security challenges continues. However, Lawan says those projecting Nigeria as a failed state are missing the point. He said if the country did not become a failed state during the era of ex-president Goodluck Jonathan, then it is impossible for it to fail now. Lawan therefore called on all stakeholders to join hands with the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration to overcome the present challenges facing the nation. The Sultan of Sokoto said Abubakar has directed the Muslim Ummah to look out for the crescent of Ramadan from tomorrow. Abubakar gave the directive in a statement today issued by Chairman Advisory Committee. Yes, Sultanate Council Professor. The Sultan prayed Allah to assist Muslims in the discharge of is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar observed by Muslims worldwide as a month for fasting, prayer, reflection, and assisting the needy. But the rainy season gradually setting in. Sean Drojaye in this report against how best the natural disaster can be nipped in the bud and other matters rising. The report.
Flooding, which is a regular occurrence in Nigeria, particularly in rainy season, has over the years destroyed homes and properties worth billions of naira in the country. Avoiding the recurrence of these calamitous events this year, the National Emergency Management Agency has commenced the mapping of communities that are vulnerable to the impending devastating expected this year. Regarding this, Adekombi Jumoke, a student of the Department of Agriculture and Environment Engineering, University of Ibadan, possible causes of flood in Nigeria, particularly in Oyo State.
And sometimes high rainfall intensity. And when the intensity is high, that is bound to be what we call flash flood. And once such condition occur, there's nothing anybody can do. Flooding will surely happen. Then coupled with the soil properties, at least some area in Ibadan that have low coefficient of permeability, that is, the infiltration rate of water to the ground is very low. So there will be ease of surface runoff, and this surface runoff will eventually lead into flooding.
According to her, flooding in Oyo State is not avoidable, but with the collective efforts of the residents of the state, it can be minimized.
Flooding is inevitable. Precisely, there is little or nothing anybody can do about flooding because of the climatic region we find ourselves, especially in Oyo State, in Ibadan inclusive. But we can manage it as a result of avoiding some bad anthropogenic activities. I mean the human activities on the road. Building or dumping refuge at the areas where it is marked as water right of way. And if we are able to do this, we can mitigate flooding in Ibadan and its environment.
With the Director General of Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, Clement Nze, urging Nigerians to take individual steps to avert or minimize the disastrous effects of flood this year. Precious Ademolu and Tope Muyosore, who are social commentators, respectively discussed how flooding can be averted in the state.
We must make sure that we properly dispose our waste, because that's one of the major problems we have: improper waste disposal. And because they clog our waterways, then once the waterways are clogged, water leaves their pathways, the drainages, and comes to the the main roads, it floods our road, on tarred roads especially communities that don't have tarred roads, it spoils their roads. That means in turn too, it spoils their properties, like their cars, their buildings, their fences. You find fences that does collapse. So on the part of government, we would ask that the government make sure that all our pathways, all our drainages should be recleansed, should be cleared out.
So I think like one way we can control flooding in Oyo State is to dump our refuse the proper way so that it won't block drainage. Also provide places where the refuse can be dumped because most times I don't see all these garbage bins at the roadside anymore. So like I don't know where they expect the citizens to drop the refuse. So if the government is able to provide like a waste management to be able to manage the refuses and the waste, people will not have to throw it into the drainage.
The fight against flooding in Nigeria cannot be won if everyone depends mainly on the government's intervention. But collectively, as a nation adhering to instruction, the struggle against this avoidable enemy will be won. Oluwaseun Durojayi, Impact Business Radio News.
On the foreign scene, the funeral of the Duke of Edinburgh will be held at Windsor on April 17th. With no public access nor public procession beforehand. A statement by Buckingham Palace said the event is to be a ceremonial royal funeral rather than a state funeral, which very much reflects the Duke's wishes. Members of the public will not be allowed to attend as the proceedings have been scaled down due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The funeral will be shown live on television. The Queen has approved the Prime Minister's recommendation that there be 8 days of national mourning to end on the day of the Duke's funeral. And the highest news, as produced and edited by Babatunde Oladici, I am Gbenga Olabisi. Good evening.
News.